Administration Board at 4:05 p.m. In attendance today is Joanne Cunningham, Chairwoman of the County Legislature, Mike Rockland, Deputy County Executive, and Bruce Higley, Albany County Clerk. I'd now like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes from December 9th, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. So first on the agenda, we have contract number 2642-24, and it's the Coroner's Office. And it's the software for an electronic case management system for Albany County Coroner's Office that will provide a more efficient way to securely store and track data while maintaining HIPAA privacy rules and regulations. It is 100% state funded, and the amount is $23,851. The term is 2/1/25 through 1/31/26. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Well, I'm Paul Mayer. I'm one of the coroners. So the reason we are, a proponent of this is because I've met with other coroners, medical examiners across the state, and they use it. So it gives us a way of the four of us, we can look at each other's cases. We can log all our toxicology, our autopsy reports, our scenes, photos. It gives us a way so we can all correspond together rather than right now, I can't look at any of the other guys' cases unless I call the secretary and then she runs by them. We can also track bodies that are at the morgue, when they're picked up, who they're picked up by. It just coordinates everything into a nice, convenient package. Right now, we're using basically a lot of our stuff is on paper.
Any further comments or questions?
Real quick, Mr. Mayor, so would this allow, obviously considering certain, privacy protection information, potential mining for information, you had mentioned toxicology, obviously overdoses on our side of things, pretty big issue, but anything like that, would it allow us to maybe have a more real-time kind of ability to kind of track some of that information?
We will. I'm not sure who's going to be allowed.
Totally understand. Yeah, we'll talk to the legal folks in terms of the ability to share that
Yes.
information, but
Yes.
that information, that's great.
Yes.
So is this something that you guys have iPads, tablets?
We're going to be able to bring iPads or tablets with us actually to the scene, log down whatever we see at the scene, the body position, what's there, what's in the room,
Right,
everything.
take pictures with
Everything.
your tablet loaded on
I
the
mean,
stuff.
we're operating in the Stone Ages right now.
Well, this is great.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wrote cheaply too for 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
And
not
it's
that.
not paid by us.
No, it's 100% state funded, which is even better yet. Did you have to apply for a grant to get this?
Yes. And Faye helped us with that, right?
I helped with selecting the software, yes.
Thank you, Faye.
Didn't hear a word you said, but thank you.
She helped, she helped.
Like Mikey?
She helped.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
I'll entertain a motion, please.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you all very
Keep
much.
up the great work.
Thank you. I'm going to go out and get all covered with snow now.
Next on the agenda is contract number 2672-24. Department is Residential Health Care Facility. The vendor is Aetna Network Services, LLC. The estimated amount is $50,000. The estimated term is 2/1/25 through 1/31/28. The scope of service of this agreement is to accept Aetna insurance at Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. This facility will allow for Aetna to be the payor for participants in their network with a commercial health product and Medicare Advantage plan. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi, Mark Olson from Shaker Place, and I think what you just said pretty much speaks to the majority of what needs to be said. The interesting thing is that Aetna is actually the insurer that a lot of our county retirees have, and when it becomes time for them to need nursing home placement, they can't go to Shaker Place. So we kind of saw that as a need, and there are sporadically some other referrals that we get that have Aetna insurance, and we're not able to take them because there would be a payment source. So we negotiated a contract with Aetna. It's a 3-tier payment system. The most utilized tier would be tier 2. It's about $400 a day. As you mentioned, this is a 3-year contract. We anticipate about 125 days of service in a year, and that would generated about $50,000 in revenue. Be happy to take any questions.
So this is just authorizing Shaker Place to take Aetna Medicare Advantage.
Correct, and their commercial products as well.
Okay.
But for
Um,
inpatient at Shaker Place.
So the 50,000 is just an estimate of what you think you may bill.
Correct.
Once you get patients who,
Correct.
okay.
Generally, I mean, this is short-term rehab coverage, so, generally, we're talking, between, 20 and 30 days of coverage for a new person coming in.
Okay. Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention, motion's carried.
I'm gonna go dig the other gentleman out of the snow.
Next on the agenda is contract number 2670-24, Department is Aging. The vendor is Dietitians on Demand LLC. The estimated amount is $20,040. The estimated term is 1/1/25 through 6/30/25. The scope of service, Department of Aging requests approval to enter into an agreement with Dietitians on Demand for required dietitian services. It is a part of New York State OFA regulation that all aging departments shall have a full-time/part-time staff person who directs all activities related to the nutrition program, which may include the planning, preparation, and delivery of nutritious meals and supportive services, 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
So this is, not, as you stated earlier, NYSOFA is one of the requirements is to have either full or part-time dietitian on hand. And we have had a very difficult time trying to find a dietitian as a county employee over the last 6 or 7 months. So when Commissioner Rattano reached out to other agencies to see what they use, they had high recommendations from this company. So this is where we went with them. And the 6 months is to see how it works out with us, and we're going to continue to comb through to see if we can find a registered dietitian for the county as a county employee. And if it works out, and it's something that we would consider doing long-term.
Joe, real quick, thank you. Is it 27, is that all in, or per, or is it like an amount not to exceed? So are they like doing it per job? Like, if you're doing a new congregate meal facility, do you know how it's going to work?
Well, it's 16 hours a week.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it's basically
so-
a part-time person?
yeah,
Okay, I got you.
For 6 months.
Yep.
That's covering the 27 grand.
Yes.
No.
Entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion that we bundle the following 4 contracts: 2605, 2607, 2609, and 2610.
Motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried. So for the next 4 contracts, we have the consultant will provide court-ordered competency evaluations. Service will be provided on an as-needed basis and dependent upon requests from various criminal courts in Albany County. Evaluations will include clinical interview of the defendant, review of all available records, collateral interviews if necessary, and the consultant will prepare and provide a report to the court. Now, each one of these contracts will be $20,000, and the terms for each one of these will be 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. The facility branch people will be Kerry Brand, Brett Hartman, Marilyn McKee, and Dr. Quinn. Now, open the floor for comments and questions.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your bundling these together. These 4 psychologists have performed this function for us for a number of years. I've visited the CAB at least a few times on the same matter over the years. We're bound by mental hygiene law to provide this service to the courts of Albany County. It goes in the category of unfunded mandate, and the examiners worked very hard for us. We like to think of this as up to 20,000 for each because it's hard to predict the actual number each year. But it's a necessary and busy part of our forensic work.
Dr. Giordano, so this is just the assessment of
On the
whether...
front end.
On the front end. Have we, now I know that the costs on the back end are increasing, as I think, we discussed
Yes.
in our budget. Obviously, the commissioner is very aware. Is the number and cost of these also increasing?
Yes.
I was just
It's
curious.
directly correlated
Right.
to the back
Okay, so
end
it's
cost.
perfect, okay. Yep, I was just curious.
So the first three are PhDs.
All four are.
Uh,
Dr. Quinn Austin Small is as well. They're psychologists licensed in New York State.
Any other comments or questions? Like to entertain a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion's carried.
Thank you, sir.
So next on the agenda is contract number 2623-24. Department is Highways Engineering Division. The vendor is Even Flow Company, Inc. The estimated amount is $40,000. The estimated term is 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. The scope of service, the Department of Public Works is requesting the approval to enter into an agreement with Even Flow Company, Inc. for the purchase of child passenger safety seats. This is 100% state funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Hi, yes, so Even Flow was the low bidder, and this is the contract under which we purchase car seats for our child passenger safety program for the county. I have a list of the car seats that we're going to be purchasing, and it's over 300 seats that we'll be able to get for this dollar value.
Same question again. Was this a grant opportunity that
It
you had
is.
with the state?
It's the Governor Child Traffic Safety Grant. Yeah, we apply for it every year.
So these are car seats that we will give away.
We distribute them to low-income families. Yep.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
And you guys do it just because it seems a weird thing for DPW.
So,
to be.
I know, it doesn't seem like it's a fit. However, so I guess the sheriff's department used to do it
Okay.
prior to me being on board, and something happened with the sheriff stopped applying for this particular grant, and so Bill Van Alstine in our department took over applying for it. And so he gives out the car seats at various events that he plans throughout the year, and if somebody should show up at our department and need a safety check and they're low income and their car seat is substandard in some way, they'll get a free car seat as well.
How do you determine when somebody comes in whether they're low income?
That's a good question. So the programs that are set up for his distribution, well, I should say, I have to Bill has a list of the folks that when they call and make an appointment, they talk about where did they get a referral from, and then Bill can call the place where they were referred to and they verify it that way. It's not just, somebody off the street coming in. It has to be like a referral from
Okay.
some kind of a organization that
Like a
deals with-
community organization?
Yeah.
So maybe like Albany Community Action Partnership might refer someone over and then you can call.
Or Alpha Pregnancy Center,
Yeah.
things like that.
Any other questions?
No.
Entertain a motion?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Now I'd like to entertain a motion to bundle 2666 and 2667, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried to bundle these two contracts. And the department is,
Me again.
you again. Department is Highway Engineering Division. The vendor is National Highway Products and Epirol Ironworks, Inc. The estimated amounts are $28,500 and $28,000. The estimated terms are 1/1/25 through 6/30/25. And the Department of Public Works respectfully requests approval to purchase signposts and bases from National Highway Products, Inc. The purchasing department will receive 8 bids. Public Works Department recommends the lowest bid, which is the National Highway Products, and the totals I already gave to you. And this is, both of them are 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Yeah, so these sign purchases are for all of our subdivisions to have on hand for construction sites. When we're doing work, some of the signs are foldable, they fold up and down, and it's, if we ever have to respond quickly, we can let them out and they'll say road work ahead, bridge closed ahead, what have you, detour ahead. So it's an effort to make sure everybody has signs that are in good condition, because they get a lot of wear and tear. So there's fold-up signs of that type, and there's also more permanent signs that have posts and bases. So we also are purchasing posts and bases that they can mount some more permanent signs on.
Okay, any other further comments or questions?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? They are both carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract number 2633-24, sewage treatment department. The vendor is Slack Chemical. The estimated amount is $85,000. Estimated term is 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. The scope of service is purchase 1-year supply of hydrogen peroxide to be used as an odor control oxidant. And it also has an option for an additional 1-year renewal. It is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments and questions.
Thank you. As indicated, this is for the supply of hydrogen peroxide. This is a chemical we use to mitigate hydrogen sulfide formations in our sludge process. We did receive 3 bids for this particular bid, and Slack was considered the lowest responsible bidder.
Any further comments or questions?
So this is just regular old hydrogen peroxide?
Little doctored up. It's not a 3% solution you can see in the pharmacy. I think we're looking at a 27% solution, so it's more concentrated. So
A little stronger.
You don't want to get it on you, but yes, a little bit stronger.
Seems like it's a lot of hydrogen.
Yeah, well, we process quite a bit, so we're doing quite a bit of sludge at the plants.
You just have one of those little brown bottles and you just pour it in and you're like, oh, we're all done.
I wish it was that easy.
We all wish it was that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Any further comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 2646-24. And it's sewage treatment department. Vendor is Capital Safety Services. Estimated amount is $55,000. Estimated term is 1/1/25 until 12/31/25. Scope of service, safety consultant services, employee safety trainings. It's 100% county funded. I know before comments and questions.
We received 3 bids for this bid as well. Capital Safety was considered the lowest responsible bidder. We are making a concerted effort to increase our staff training throughout the year, and specifically safety training. So bringing on an outside consultant, not only to review our current safety programs, but also help in terms of doing the trainings and then being available throughout the year just for issues that may arise is something that we feel is necessary. So we're excited to really start working with an outside consultant on this.
Is that to make sure that little brown bottle gets in?
Yep, that part of it, yeah.
You never be too safe.
I'm sorry. Any further comments or questions?
Nope.
Entertain a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is contract number 2697-25. Department's probation. Vendors Van Bortle Ford. The estimated amount is $93,298.08. The estimated term is 1/7/25 to 12/31/25. The scope of services, to purchase 2 police interceptor vehicles with barrier cage installed. It's 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
Good evening, Bill Connors, probation. This will enhance our ability in the transportation of probationers, and it will replace 2 Chargers that we have that are 19 years old in very poor condition. These are all-wheel drive, which we can use on evening hours when we have to visit persons in their homes in the evening, and also has dividers installed for the safety of our staff when we're transporting probationers.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion?
Wait,
Oop.
so you said this is replacing 2 cars that are 19 years old? Okay.
We've tried to keep them to the best of our ability, Ryan, but
It's good. I'm
they,
good.
they're pretty much out.
I'd say they got through your session.
Thank you for taking the full life cycle.
Yeah.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract 2661-24, Department's Public Defender. The vendor is the New York State Defenders Association. The estimated amount is $58,720. The estimated term is 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. Scope of service, access to and software maintenance, new software releases, training for the Public Defender's client management system. And this is broken down into two funding categories. The first would be the county at 21%, and the state would pick up 79% of this funding.
That's correct, yes. Matt Alpern, Chief Assistant Public Defender. On behalf of the Public Defender Office, we're requesting authorization of a one-year extension with the New York State Defenders Association for our client management, case management system, and it will expire on the 31st of 25.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 2662-24. Again, it's the Public Defender. The vendor is Gideon's Promise. The estimated amount is $26,000. The estimated term is 1/24/25 through 7/31/27. The scope of services, 2 Albany County Public Defenders will be provided 24 days of training between January 25 and July of 27, including an orientation from January 24 through 26, 2025, and a 2-week initial training in July of 2025, and 4 subsequent weekends offered semi-annually, and this fiscal impact is 100% to the state.
Yes, it's covered by the state, and we're requesting the ability to send 2 additional participants to the program. And we've had it in effect for a couple of years. Gideon's Promise is a national public defender training organization, and we're involved with them training new lawyers. We also, not related to this contract, they do leadership training, trainer development programs, and they have a law school partnership program, which if we send applicants to this program, we're in the pool of potential recruitment for new lawyers.
Any other comments or questions?
No.
I'll entertain a motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 2671-24. Department is Preventative Assistance Program. The vendor is St. Anne's Institute. The estimated amount is $50,000. The estimated term is 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. The scope of service is provision of predispositional placement services for PINS youth for a daily per diem rate of $477, and it's not to exceed $50,000. The estimated fiscal impact are 3. The county's at 23%, the state at 37%, and the federal government will pick up 40% of this proposal.
Cool War, Department for Children, Youth, and Families. This is for youth who there's been a petition filed against that there's a concern that they might not make their next appearance at family court. So it's a very short period of time. I think initially we could do 3 days with a request to do an additional 3 days.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 2675-24. Department of Children, Youth, and Families. The vendor is IMA Systems LLC. Estimated amount is $25,000. Estimated term is 1/1/25 through 12/31/25. The scope of services, description and license agreement for operation of patient and billing software. This is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
This is the billing software that we use for the Children's Mental Health Clinic. We piggyback onto adult mental health's RFP for this.
Any other comments or questions?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda is contract number 2676. The department is Service for Physically Handicapped Children. The Vendor is James McGinnis and Associates. The estimated amount is $27,996. The estimated term is 4/125 through 3/31/26. Scope of service, software, and support for third-party insurance building pertaining to the preschool/related services program. This is 100% county funded.
So this is a sole source contract software that we use for our OTPT speech. So when the State Department of Education denies things, we can use this software and they help us find ways to get reimbursements.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried. Next on the agenda, contract number 2699-25. Department of County Executive. The vendor is Maria College. The estimated amount is $75,000. The estimated term is 1/13/25 through 1/12/26. The scope of service to provide funding for a new community resource/clinic within Albany Medical Center. It's 100% county funded. I open the floor for comments or questions.
Good evening. I'm Michael Lally, Director of Operations for Albany County. On behalf of the County Executive's Office, I'm requesting permission to contract with Maria College to provide funding for a community clinic located within Albany Med for the amount of $75,000. This clinic will allow for clinical placement of Maria College students in Albany Med, which will be triaging patients in an attempt to reduce the demand placed on Albany Med's emergency department as well as their pediatric emergency department.
Any other comments or questions?
No, do I understand that this is Albany County's contribution and others are kicking into this as well? Is that right?
Correct. MVP Innovation Fund has done $75,000, and I can give you a breakdown of some other third parties that have been funding it as well. I believe the total is $750,000.
Well, good. So when wait times go down, we can all claim that this is partially responsible.
Absolutely.
I can speak to this a little bit too. I think there's also a desire to increase, obviously, the number of trained nurses as well, and so there's that other added benefit. Obviously, the nursing home has a relationship with Maria, so hopefully, there's a general need to increase those numbers. So that's kind of what I think everyone's going for. So.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Sure it is.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is contract number 2668-24. Department is Information Services. The vendor is CNC Services NY Inc. The estimated amount is $38,488. It's $38,488.89. The estimated term is 1/1/25 to 2/28/25. Scope of service: installation of PVC conduits, trenching and conduit installation, installation of strand fiber, installation of cables, termination of fiber with LC pigtails, installation of rack mount housing, installation of wall mount housing, testing and certification of fiber placed, installation of surge suppressor for the 4 underground CAT6 cables. 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments and questions. Mr. Bergen.
Hi, Dave Bergen from Information Services. This conduit is necessary to replace a bad conduit between the old E911 and our DPW facility. Our feed for this building and our entire network comes through the old E911, and the conduit became compromised where our fiber ran through from building to building before. So this is a necessary replacement in order to facilitate communications. Otherwise, we will lose contact with that building. So it is our DR site.
Any other comments or questions?
No, motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Carried. And the last item on the agenda tonight is contract 2710-25. The Department of Economic Development Conservation and Planning. The vendor is Morningside Advisors. The term is 1/13/25 to 12/31/26. The term is $75,000. And Morningside will provide a variety of evaluation services related to the acquisition and redevelopment of the former St. Rose campus, including but not limited to multi-year operating expenses schedules, financial modeling, feasibility analysis, scenario modeling, and capital expenditure planning for final disposition of the assets. These categories are further detailed in the attachment, and this will be a max of $75,000. And this is 100% county funded. I now open the floor for comments or questions.
So as stated earlier, Morningside is this is to help us with the disposition of the former St. Rose campus. So Morningside is a mergers and acquisitions consulting firm. We'd initially contracted with them on a much smaller basis to help us come up with our bid number for what we paid for the entire campus. Based on their financial modeling, basically the deliverables that we received from that smaller project, we had engaged with them through some conversations, and they agreed to put a submission in, basically to pitch us at the same hourly rate, just a larger do not exceed amount to help us through the next couple of steps to make sure that we put every effort into this as we can and do it the right way.
So just walk me through this. So they will assist when there is a pitch to the county or to the authority for some, let's make it up, some mixed-use development thing with development, housing, mixed use with, some retail or whatever. So they will help evaluate whether or not that's a financially wise.
They could be used for that. Up front, the bigger desire is to have them help us set up the next 5 years of operating budgets.
Okay.
To see what, basically they're gonna model out the entire campus, every tax parcel as its own, basically tab in an Excel sheet.
Okay.
What the monthly carrying for each one would be, utilities,
Okay.
maintenance, things like that, what work needs to be done, if utilities are commingled on those properties.
Okay.
To kind of help give us the game plan, both of how much it's gonna cost us to, what the spend is gonna be, as well as kind of what the priorities might be of, these ones might take a little bit longer because they're gonna require a little bit more work.
Okay.
The desire is not to have them kind of be making solely making any kind of decisions for us. That should be more with the county and with
Right.
the authority on how we're actually gonna redevelop it.
Okay, I got it. So they're just gonna help make sure that you're that the county and the
Yeah.
Alliance are fully understanding exactly what the financial
Yep.
load is for every square foot of the place.
And I think that because the relationship between the authority and the county is a little different with the county backstopping the bonding,
Yeah.
it's important, and given their performance in the first smaller phase that Dave referenced, I think it's important that we, appointing folks who are appointed to the board, have an independent
Yeah.
skill on our side that can feed us information. The work they did that kind of illustrated the differences, shall we say, between the JLL report and the reality boots on the ground with the properties was everything we needed to see when we were going into the bankruptcy, and frankly saved us millions of dollars.
Okay.
That's the work that they did for us that was kind of eye-opening, like, okay, we're the big leagues, we really need to make sure we have somebody that's an independent voice that's going to allow us to make sure we're kind of seeing seeing everything with open eyes.
Okay. Yeah,
So
good.
their offices here are located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So what are they? How are they getting all this information?
So a lot of it they can do remote. When they were doing the initial property valuations, they started off with what JLL had provided to the College of St. Rose as the initial valuation. They then can go back, they can do research, it can be done from anywhere, where they went and scraped all of the real estate sites in the area to get, square footage comparisons for all the different types of buildings that were on the campus, but they were able to drill down, and ironically, even though it's a small boutique firm, they were able to drill down far more accurately than the much larger multinational firm was. As Mike said, these guys saved us probably $10 to $15 million in the acquisition costs.
So we don't have to bid this out?
So we when we had first approached it, we were looking into that, and they said that this fell under professional services.
Okay. Okay. Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion is carried.
Thank you very much.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to close
Motion?
Second.
at 4:40 PM.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
4:36.
It's,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carried.
All right.
Good drive safe.